Alright, so whether you love cracking cases or just can't resist a good puzzle, detective games have something for everyone. Today I am showing you 15 best detective games you must play if you haven't yet. And along the way I'll share my personal thoughts on what makes each game stand out. So let's get started then. Kicking off our list is The Last Case of Benedict Fox, a game that really took me by surprise. This atmospheric Metroidvania-style game is a dark, twisted journey through a world inspired by Lovecraftian horror. You play as Benedict Fox, a self-proclaimed detective bound to a demon trying to unravel the mystery behind a family's gruesome murder. What I love about this game is how it combines exploration and puzzle solving with a deep psychological narrative. The art style is absolutely gorgeous with a haunting beauty that perfectly matches the eerie tone. If you're into games that challenge both your mind and your nerves, this one is a must-play. Next up is a classic that holds a special place in my heart, Blade Runner. This 1997 point-and-click adventure game is a masterclass in atmosphere and storytelling. Set in a dystopian future where you're tasked with hunting down rogue replicants, Blade Runner captures the essence of the noir genre perfectly. The game's branching narrative and real-time decision-making create an experience where no two playthroughs are the same. Personally, I think this game nails the feeling of moral ambiguity and tension, something that's crucial in any good detective story. If you're a fan of the cyberpunk aesthetic and love narratives that make you question right and wrong, this is a timeless gem you shouldn't miss.
Hey, man.
You're that cat from Howie Lee's. McCoy, right? We keep bumping into each other. You want an autograph? I know you ain't heard of me yet, but Gordo Frizz's autograph's gonna be worth a pile of chinion someday.
I'll hold my breath. I'm gonna ask you a few questions.
Man, don't you got anything better to do than hassle innocent people at their place of work? Make it snappy, okay?
I really appreciate your patience.
Nobody Wants to Die is one of those games that keeps you on the edge of your seat from start to finish. The game throws you into a gripping mystery where trust is a rare commodity and every character has something to hide. Your choices can lead to life or death not just for you, but for everyone involved. What I found most compelling about this game is how it forces you to make tough decisions, often with incomplete information. The tension between trust and betrayal is palpable, and the multiple endings ensure that the story stays with you long after the credits roll. If you're into intense narrative experiences where your choices really matter, this game is a must-play.
Principal Green's Icarite, not someone's.
Stop doing this.
Moving on to reconstruction. The gel's flammable. Someone could have ignited it deliberately. I need to find the source. Why is the tree burnt?
This is crazy. If something goes wrong, you're hung out to dry.
At least we have a theory of the crime.
Stop it. James, you've got to stop this.
Ah, finally paying attention. The thing's been oxidized, understand? Somebody wanted to make damn sure Green wasn't coming back.
Oh, I am in deep, deep shit. Look, he's hanging from a fucking tree.
So I took this job. I'd take any job at that point.
Omega code 112358. Suspected murder.
Stepping back into the 1950s, this bed we made offers a slow burn yet deeply rewarding experience. You play as a maid in a hotel, but instead of just cleaning rooms, you're secretly investigating the dark secrets of the guests. The game does a fantastic job of making the most mundane objects feel like pieces of a larger puzzle. It's a slow, methodical game that really encourages you to take your time and soak in every detail. Personally, I love how this game captures the feeling of being an amateur detective, piecing together clues from what others would dismiss as ordinary. It's not a game for everyone, but if you appreciate a well-crafted atmospheric mystery, you'll find it deeply satisfying.
Mr. Cruz? Mr. Cruz. Oh, good.
For those who enjoy a mix of detective work and Lovecraftian horror, The Sinking City is an absolute must. This game is set in a semi-open world where the city is literally sinking into madness. You play as a private investigator trying to uncover the truth behind the strange occurrences in Oakmont. The thing that really stood out to me in this game is the way it blends traditional detective gameplay with an open world structure. The freedom to explore the city and approach cases in your own way adds a layer of immersion that I found really engaging. And let's not forget the unsettling atmosphere, which is practically a character in its own right. If you're looking for a detective game that's heavy on atmosphere and mystery, The Sinking City should be on your radar.
Is she gone? Did you get her?
What the hell's going on? I'm sure I shot her dead, but then she ran.
No list of detective games would be complete without mentioning Alone in the Dark. A pioneer in the survival horror genre, this game combines horror and detective work in a way that few games have managed to replicate. The eerie atmosphere, the creepy mansion, the intricate puzzles. It all comes together to create a game that's as much about survival as it is about solving a mystery. What I appreciate most about Alone in the Dark is its ability to make you feel genuinely vulnerable. You're not just a detective, you're a survivor, and every corner you turn could be your last. The recent reimagining of the game breathes new life into this classic, making it a must-play for both newcomers and veterans of the series. Sherlock Holmes the Awakened brings the world's most famous detective into a terrifying horror setting, and the result is pure brilliance. This game merges the classic Holmes-style investigation with cosmic horror, creating a unique blend of detective work and unsettling atmosphere. I've always been a fan of Sherlock Holmes games, but this one stands out for its bold approach to the material. The fusion of two distinct genres, detective and horror, works surprisingly well, and the story will keep you on your toes from start to finish. Whether you're a fan of Sherlock Holmes or just love a good mystery with a supernatural twist, this game will keep you hooked.
Watson, would you please lend me your medical expertise?
I'll do my best. His corneas are already clouded. The hand can bend freely. Rigor mortis has passed. Hay on his trousers suggests a gardener or groom. A deep stab reached the man's heart. Clean edges suggest a sharp blade, but the wound is too wide for an ordinary knife. This man has been dead for a week. The result of a sharp object piercing his heart.
Heavy Rain is a game that redefined what narrative-driven gameplay could be. This psychological thriller follows 4 characters each with their own motivations as they try to uncover the identity of the origami killer. What makes Heavy Rain so special is the emotional depth of its storytelling. Every choice you make has far-reaching consequences, and the game isn't afraid to tackle heavy themes like loss, guilt, and redemption. I remember my first playthrough vividly because of how much I was invested in the characters' fates. The multiple endings ensure that no 2 players will have the same experience, making it a game you'll want to revisit. If you enjoy interactive drama where your decisions truly matter, Heavy Rain is a must-play.
Say hello to Matthew. He claimed he had come to the census. Another one of those goddamn government spies. So, you're interested in my Marble Street apartment. I rented to my friend Paco, if you must know. I have no idea what he does there. Maybe that's where he fornicates with his dancers from the Blue Lagoon. To be honest, I don't give a damn. Just as long as he pays his rent, he can do whatever he likes. But enough with the chit-chat. I missed surgery, you see, so I take every opportunity to practice. I don't have any instruments here, so I use whatever comes to hand. I hope you won't hold that against me.
Alan Wake 2 is one of the most anticipated sequels in recent memory, and for good reason. This game promises to delve even deeper into the psychological horror that made the first game a cult classic. What I'm most excited about is how Alan Wake 2 plans to expand on the lore and atmosphere that made the original so compelling. The visuals look absolutely stunning, and the tension is palpable in every scene. If the first game was any indication, Alan Wake 2 is set to be a masterpiece in mystery and horror, and I can't wait to see how the story unfolds. Murdered Soul Suspect offers a unique twist on the detective genre. You play as a detective solving his own murder from the afterlife. This premise alone intrigued me, but the game also delivers in terms of atmosphere and narrative. Using supernatural abilities to uncover clues and interrogate ghosts adds a fresh layer to the traditional detective gameplay. While it didn't receive universal acclaim, I personally found it to be an underrated gem. The story is compelling, and the ghostly mechanics offer something different from the usual fare. If you're looking for a detective game with a paranormal twist, Murdered Soul Suspect is definitely worth checking out. The Vanishing of Ethan Carter is a visually stunning game that excels in creating a deeply immersive narrative experience. You play as a detective with supernatural abilities trying to unravel the mystery of a boy's disappearance in a mysterious valley. What I love about this game is its focus on exploration and storytelling. The open-world environment is not just beautiful, but also filled with secrets and clues that slowly piece together the larger mystery. The game doesn't hold your hand, which I appreciate. It trusts you to explore and figure things out on your own. If you enjoy games that blend exploration with a strong narrative, The Vanishing of Ethan Carter is a standout title. Based on the Fables comic series, The Wolf Among Us is a noir-inspired adventure game that absolutely nails the atmosphere of a gritty detective story. You play as Bigby Wolf, the sheriff of a community of fairy tale characters living in a dark, twisted version of New York City. What I love about this game is how it blends the fantastical with the familiar. The characters are all rooted in folklore, but they're dealing with very real, very human problems. The episodic format and decision-driven narrative create a gripping story filled with moral dilemmas and unexpected twists. I found myself genuinely torn by some of the choices I had to make, which speaks to the game's excellent writing. If you're into noir detective stories with a unique twist, The Wolf Among Us is a must-play. Hidden Agenda is a unique entry on this list as it's designed to be played with friends. This interactive crime thriller uses the PlayStation's PlayLink feature, allowing multiple players to influence the story's outcome. What makes this game stand out for me is the social aspect. Playing it with a group of friends turns it into a cooperative yet competitive experience where everyone's trying to steer the narrative in different directions. The tension that builds from this dynamic is unlike anything I've experienced in a solo game. While the story itself is engaging, it's the group decision-making that really makes Hidden Agenda special. If you're looking for a detective game that's perfect for a game night with friends, this is it.
Shit. Freeze! Don't move! Don't move.
Huh. You got me.
Simon, you've gotten what you want, haven't you?
You don't know what
Her story is one of the most innovative detective games I've ever played. The game tasks you with piecing together the truth from a series of police interviews, but it's up to you to search a database of video clips to find the answers. What I found fascinating about her story is how it forces you to think like a detective. The non-linear storytelling makes every discovery feel earned, and by the end, you'll feel like you've truly uncovered something profound. It's a game that requires your full attention and deductive skills, and if you're up for the challenge, it's an experience unlike any other.
Important to you, no? Family. So, Carl fucked off, and then there were other boys here and there, and then Simon. And the Glaziers. I worked there some weekends, and Simon had a part-time job there too. That was Eric's generosity. He was always good at helping out other people's children. Simon was quiet, more thoughtful than the other boys. Even then, he had a sense of craftsmanship. Wasn't always rushing stuff. Boys that age are just running around like headless chickens most of the time. You know? Plus, he had that look. He looked like a fairy tale prince from one of my books. I wouldn't say that.
Rounding out our list is Disco Elysium, a game that blends traditional RPG elements with deep philosophical storytelling. You play as a detective with a troubled past, navigating a world filled with complex characters and moral ambiguity. What I love most about Disco Elysium is its emphasis on dialogue and player choice. The game doesn't just let you solve a mystery, it lets you shape your character's personality and beliefs in a way that profoundly impacts the story. The writing is some of the best I've ever encountered in a game, and the richly detailed world feels alive with history and meaning. If you're looking for a detective game that challenges your intellect as much as your investigative skills, Disco Elysium is an absolute masterpiece.
You should probably check on Kim. That's what good partners do.
Right behind you, officer.
A pale latitude compressor is used to sort of make the pale more manageable. With a lot of these, you can force a radio signal grid on the pale, literally crunch the distance across it. Signals are relayed across a series of repeater stations fixed to buoys. Not a fun job manning those stations. All alone out there in the pale, People lose their minds in just a few years.
So, what we are experiencing is a concentration of radio waves.
Precisely. This is an industrial strength paraboloid.
Alright, so those were my pick for 15 detective games that you absolutely must play. I hope you found something new to add to your gaming list. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and also hit that bell icon for more gaming content. What's your favorite detective game? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.